For the Most High.
All right. Let's say shalom, 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 family, brothers, sisters, foes, enemies, rivals, haters, lovers. All praises to the Most High. As we begin at this Shabbat class, it's a beautiful day. It's good to be lit in the land of the living, but it's good to see the destruction of our enemies and the resurrection of Israel. All praises to the Most High. Yes, so I know everybody's seeing and watching the news. That's a good thing about the World Wide Web now, the internet, cell phones, technology is good for one reason and it's bad at the other end. So we see the events. Shifted now. Kingdoms right up against kingdom, nation against nation. All right. So this is the Most High chess moves. He's using Russia, another superpower against another superpower, to bring this thing into his final game. The final game plan is the destruction of this wicked, evil empire. All right. The beast system. But it's not over yet. We still got more to go. But this, now you're starting to see the prophecies now with an open lens now. The Most High has shown you now. The Most High has given us a front row seat for us to do the commentating and watch the Most High work. And the scripture said, it's time for thee to work, O Most High. It's time for the Most High to work. And we just got to sit back, repent as a nation of people, and watch the Most High do his thing. So, but before we get into our class, I just got to wrap and talk about this because it feels good. You know what I mean? A good feeling. When I saw it Thursday morning, I was like, woo! Boy, burning me, boy. When I went to work, they said, Francis, why are you so happy? I said, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. I was doing the jigger move, everything like, yo, I feel good today, boy. Yeah, you know, I was inspiring. I said, yeah, man. Our time is up, man. Our 400-year punishment has come to its end. Our prison sentence is finally coming to an end, brothers and sisters. Okay? And that 400 years is right here in America. I'm going to say it again. That 400 years is not in Egypt. Okay? We didn't spend 400 years slaves in Egypt. I'm going to bring out the proof, more proof to show you. All right? I'm going to touch on all these subjects. Egypt, physical Egypt, spiritual Egypt, the bear. I'm going to touch on a lot of prophecies and a lot of events that's going down. But before I start my class, as usual, I always start off my class with a Psalms to give the Most High his props and his praise and his glory. So the Most High could be magnified. And all praise and reverence and everything goes to the Most High. The mighty power, the mighty Yahweh, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? All praises goes to them. All praises due to the Most High. Because it's of the Most High mercies that we're still here. To see what the Most High is doing, to give us his wisdom, his knowledge, and his understanding of the events being unfolded in the earth. Okay? You got your scholars now, your historians now. They must be thumbing through history now, going through the Bible. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Is this really happening? Yes, it's happening. The Most High is bringing it to your damn face, you devils, to show you that you're not going to rule forever. Okay? I'm going to bring out the fact, too, that you had this guy, a British, Sir John Bagot Glove. He was born in the late 1800s, and he traveled the world. He was in the military in the World War I with the conflict with the Arabs. He was over there training them too in the early parts of Iraq in the 1920s. And when he retired from military service, when he traveled and he studied history, and I see that was the spirit of the Most High working on him. He was a devil too. and he recorded and he wrote. It's called The Average Mere Rulership of an Empire is 250 years. And he went back and checked out all the time period of all world kingdoms that rule the earth. And they ruled for an average of at least 250 years. He started from the Assyrians, and he came all the way down to America. And he said, America empire is going to be 250 years in the year 2026. I'm going to read what he wrote. And he said, when you get to that 250 mark, that's when empire starts to die and it fails. Okay? The Greek Empire ruled for 200-something years. The Roman Empire, when you had the First Republic, then you had the other part of the Roman Empire, the Assyrians, the Persians, all right? And he ran it down with all the empires. When it came to, even the British Empire ruled for 200-something years. When it came to America, he was signaling like America, because America is the top ruling empire in the face of the earth. So we're going to go into all these subjects today. Today I'm going to jump in a lot of subjects, hit a lot of points. Okay? But let me start off with our scripture, Psalms 97 and the first verse.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 97, verse 1. The Most High reigneth, let the earth rejoice.
That's right. The Most High reigneth, and let the earth rejoice. Go ahead.
Let the multitude of the isles be glad thereof. Verse 2. Clouds and darkness are round about him. Righteousness and judgment are the habitation of his throne.
That's right. See that? That's what it says. It says clouds and darkness are round about him. Righteousness and judgment are the habitation of his throne. All right? Judgment, okay? Righteousness and judgment are the habitation of a throne. That's how the Most High rule this world. True. Righteousness and judgments. Okay? Not like the world ruled with wickedness and evil. And lies and deceit and propaganda. And try to hide their evil to say that they're righteous. America is an evil empire and it's full of hypocrisy. Okay? They're always telling you they're going to fight for democracy to free some country because of tyrannism. Okay? So go over in Ukraine now and get Russia out. Go stop Russia from being a tyrant now. Okay? If you so much for freedom and democracy. Okay? And that little bastard you got over there called Zelensky. I hope Putin captures his behind too. Okay? That might sound cruel, but all of them is part of this bull crap. And Putin is only doing the Most High's job on the left-hand side. Putin is just an evil bastard too. Sure. But I like what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He's doing the Most High work. When we disobeyed the Most High in the town of the Babylonians, who did the Most High use to come and punish us? Who in particular? When we're in Babylon, who did the Most High use in particular to punish us? The main figure, who? Nebuchadnezzar. The Most High said, Nebuchadnezzar, yo, you my servant. You're going to punish my people. And you're going to take down all nations. When I'm finished with you, I'm going to judge you. I'm going to punish you. Now, who did the Most High use to take down Nebuchadnezzar? The Persian Empire, Cyrus. Okay? So the Most High has the final say when it all goes down. Okay? Man is just a puppet, but he get a lot of big mouth, talk a lot of trash. But when it comes down to it, the Most High is the real puppet master. The Most High controls everybody when it comes down to it. You might have your own plan. Well, I'm going to do this. That's what I want to do. Most High said, hold up, buddy. I'm controlling this horse. I got you by the reins. You're going to do what I say. Hold up real quick. We'll come back to this real quick. Go to Proverbs 21 and 1. Proverbs 21 and 1. The Most High controlled kings and rulers of this earth. Okay? And he had some for his left hand and some for his right hand side to do his bidding. Proverbs 21 and 1.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
Stop right there. So it says, the king's what?
The king's heart.
The king's heart, his mind. Not this thing that pumps blood. His heart, his mind. The king's heart is in the hand of the Most High. Go ahead.
As rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
See? See that? So the Most High controls them. Just like a river runs in certain ways, the Most High controls the king's heart. And he said, you're going to go this direction, you're going to shift from what you're doing, and you'll go another direction. This is what I want you to do, Putin. But the Most High used it through Satan. He used Satan as a left hand to guide these nations to do his bidding. Continue, finish reading it.
Verse 2. Every way of man is right in his own eyes.
Yeah, every man thinks his own way is right. I'm right. Right? Go ahead.
But the Most High pondereth the hearts.
See, but the Most High pondereth the hearts. Okay, let's go back to Psalms 97. Okay, there's another scripture that said the Most High said he put hooks into the jaws of the rulers. The Most High even called Pharaoh king of Egypt. He said, you dragon. The Most High called him a dragon. And the Most High said, I'm going to guide you. Then he said after that he was going to bring Nebuchadnezzar to take down the Pharaoh king of Egypt. Okay? When Nebuchadnezzar ruled, he took all nations down. Right? Because the Most High put that power on him to do it. Right? And Nebuchadnezzar acknowledged the Most High is the power of the earth.
Right.
Okay? So finish reading Psalms 97.
This is the book of Psalms 97. We at verse 3. A fire goeth before him, and burneth up his enemies round about. Verse 4. His lightning enlightened the world. The earth saw and trembled.
The earth is going to tremble very soon. Okay? When the Most High ready to rock and shake this earth, the earth is going to tremble very soon. Go ahead.
Verse 5. The hills melted like wax at the presence of the Most High. At the presence of the Most High of the whole earth. Verse 6. The heavens declare the righteousness, his righteousness, and all the people see his glory.
Right. All the people is going to see the Most High's glory very soon. They're going to see it very soon. In that day, all that talk about, there is no God. I don't believe there's a God. I'm an atheist. All that crap going to be put down. Because the Most High is going to show himself that there is a God. Okay? It's just a matter of time. You say, well, where is God? Where is he? Where is she? Where is she? All this blasphemy. If there's a God, where is he? Is he hiding? Don't worry. The Most High is going to show himself. But the Most High allow all this to reign to show man that all man's plans that they have doesn't work. Unless you don't trust and rely on the Most High, all your plans is going to be brought to naught, to nothing. Continue.
Verse 7. Confounded be all they that serve graven images.
Just like Egypt. Egypt was famous for that. That's why the Most High made mockery of all the gods of Egypt. That's what the plagues was about. The 10 plagues that the Most High brought was upon all the gods of Egypt. And the Most High showed that their gods were nothing. They were idols.
That's right.
Every last one of them. Isis, Ra, Geb, Hathor, okay? Haket. The Most High made mockery of all the gods of Egypt to show them that their gods are nothing. The sun god Ra. The Most High said, you a sun god Ra? Okay, I'm going to bring three nights of darkness on Egypt. See if you could bring the sun out. And they couldn't do a damn jack. The Most High said, where is Ra? Ra is no God. The Most High brought 3 nights of darkness in Egypt.
That's right.
And there ain't nothing they could do against it. Because the Most High is the power. And Isis, who's supposed to be the god of healing and medicine, the Most High showed Isis, you are nothing. I'm going to bring the boils upon all of Egypt and the diseases. The God of Isis, going to do nothing. Not even Pharaoh, because Pharaoh was the ultimate God of Egypt. He's the true God, the ultimate God of Egypt. And when the Most High killed his firstborn, ain't a damn thing he could have done to it.
That's right.
The Most High going to prove to the whole entire earth. And he used Egypt as an example to the rest of the earth. And America is going to be that next example to the entire earth again. But the Most High did to ancient Egypt, he's going to do to America too. Okay, I'm going to show you a similarity of Egypt and America. Okay, when we go into the history, like I was showing this guy, Sir John Glubb, he said most empires rule for 250 years, When you go back into Egypt, when we were in the 18th dynasty of Egypt, don't ever forget that. The 18th dynasty of Egypt, that's the dynasty we were in slavery in Egypt. And that dynasty lasted for 255 years. 255 years. Okay? So it's impossible for us to serve 400 years of slavery in Egypt when that dynasty only lasts for 255 years. It started with Amuz and it ended with Horemheb. Now, ain't that ironic? America is going to be 250 years in the year 2026. Check that out. Check that out. And we are approaching the year 2026 very soon. That's why the Most High said he's going to cut the time short. The Most High is not going to let them reign and rule forever. Hell no and hell no. No kingdom ever rules forever. But the white man thinks that his kingdom is going to rule forever. But the Most High have a surprise for them. We're going to finish reading that. We're going to touch on all that subject. I got a whole lot to bring out today. All praises to the Most High.
All praises.
All praises.
All praises.
All right, so sit tight and stick with me. All right? Finish reading up.
This is Psalms chapter 97, verse 7 again. Confounded be all they that serve graven images.
See that? Confounded is all they that serve graven images. All graven images going to be brought down. Okay? And the Most High made an example of that of Egypt. So all you Egyptologists that trust in Egypt, that God, rock, and all this crap, the Most High showed you your God ain't nothing. That's what the Most High said. All gods of the nations are idols. All the gods of the nation are idols. And that's why we have to praise and give the Most High worship back. He is our power. Right. And he showed all nations that their gods are nothing. And he's going to show America again that your God ain't nothing. Continue.
That boast themselves of idols.
See, that boast themselves of idols. That's what Egypt was doing. They were boasting of their idols. Okay? Egypt, the Nile was a god to Egypt. Okay? And the god over that Nile River was called Hapi. H-A-P-I. That was the god of the Nile River, Hapi. That was their god. That's why they praise the Nile River so much. And that's why the Most High brought the blood on the Nile River to show them that Hapi ain't no God. Okay? I'm going to show a touch and show all of that. So keep notes of that. So whenever these fools come and tell you about Egypt or their gods, you can shoot down their gods. They ain't nothing. That's right. Okay? Their gods ain't nothing. And they worship the sun. Ra. Sun God Ra. The Most High show them their gods ain't nothing. That's why the Most High is telling you right here. Read that verse again, Mike Allah.
This is the book of Psalms 97, verse 7 from the top. Confounded be all they that serve graven images, that boast themselves of idols.
Yeah, that boast themselves of idols. And that's what they was doing in Egypt. That's why the Most High said when he brought us of Egypt, he said, don't do the things that you did in Egypt. Don't serve the gods of Egypt because they were idols. And it became a snare to our people. Continue.
Worship him, all ye gods.
Worship the Most High, all ye gods. Worship the Most High. That's what the Most High was showing Pharaoh. I'm the true creator, not your gods that you established. You had female gods and you had male gods. Okay? Isis was a female god. Okay? Haket was a female god. Okay? You had a lot of female gods, goddesses that they worship. Isis supposed to be one of the main female god. Supposed to be the god of healings, peace, medicine. And the Most High showed him that Isis was in nothing.
Okay.
We're going to touch it. We'll show you that. Okay, continue.
Verse 8. Zion heard and was glad.
So Zion heard and was glad. We are Zion. That's right. Okay, the so-called white man that claims to be a Jew is not Zion. Get that straight. You'll never be Zion. They're going to get a rude awakening too. And I know they're watching carefully what Russia is doing. They observing what they sat like they're watching every move. They're watching Russia. Okay? All eyes on Russia now. But all eyes are going to be on the Most High very soon. And Yahushua. That's who the big game is. Yahushua is going to be the eyes. All eyes going to be on very soon. Okay? Because he's going to come to the astonishment of those that's on the earth. Continue.
And the daughters of Judah rejoice because of thy judgment.
See that? Go ahead.
O Most High. Verse 9. For thou, Most High, art high above all the earth.
See, the Most High is high above all the earth. Go ahead.
Thou art exalted far above all gods.
See, thou art exalted far above all gods. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 10. Ye that love the Most High hate evil.
See that? Ye that love the Most High hate evil. You're supposed to hate evil. Any form of evil. And Scripture said, abstain from any form of evil. Continue.
He preserveth the souls of his saints.
See what the Most High said? He preserveth the souls of his saints. Continue.
He delivereth them out of the hands of the wicked.
And that's what the Most High is going to do. He's going to deliver us out of the hands of the wicked. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Light is sown for righteous, and gladness for the upright in heart. Verse 12. Rejoice in the Most High, ye righteous, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Give praise to the Most High. All praises to the Most
All
High.
praise.
All right? Because the Most High must get his praise and his props. Okay? The Most High said, even if we don't praise him,
Right.
the Most High said, even the earth and the world will praise the Most High. His creation will praise him if we don't praise the Most High. But it's better we praise the Most High. That's our job. That's what we were born to do, to praise the Most High and give him his reverence and his props. That's our job. Okay? Because the Most High made us to be his vessel, to represent him. That's our job. Our job not to be no damn politician. Come, but I'm going to uphold the laws of our country. That's bullcrap. What about the Most High's righteousness? That's our job. To represent the Most High. Any black person that have any endeavors to be a politician, you hate the Most High.
Right.
You hate the Most High. Because you're going to pass laws to oppress the people of the Most High. Talking about you uphold the laws of the Constitution. You're a black devil. That's all you are. A black devil. Because you're going to do the bidding of your master. You're not going to stand for your people. Just like that one that got elected mayor. He's another one too. Sellout. Okay? Because you're a part of the fraternal order of the Freemasons. Okay? He's a sellout. I don't trust none of your black politicians. None.
That's right.
They will sell you up in a heartbeat.
That's right.
Because they prefer their position and their title more than anything else. Okay? So we're going to jump into our class now. I'm getting heated now. No hands up. No hands up today. Everybody just take notes and listen today.
All
right? We're going to save the best for last. Okay? Now let's go to the book of Job, the 14th chapter and the 5th verse. Job, the 14th chapter and the 5th verse. Go ahead, Job 14 and 5.
This is the book of Job, chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bond that he cannot pass.
Check that out. See that? Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he could not pass. Okay? The Most High have set the bounds of every nation on the earth that they cannot pass. That bounds that he set. If the Most High gave you a set time to rule, you're not going past that set time that he has set for you.
That's right.
He set the bounds for all nations, whether they're righteous or wicked. Okay? So the Most High set the bounds that America cannot go past. Not even Russia. Okay? Because they're all the same people.
That's right. That's right.
The same people.
That's right.
But the Most High is going to have them to clash. Okay? One is the eagle and one is the bear. Okay? One is in the east and one is in the west. Okay? And the way the Most High got it set up is so good. You're going to see the Most High plans when this whole thing comes down. Okay? The Most High is making a chess move in the earth. Okay? And he's moving the players. He's pushing the players, moving them. He's setting them up. And guess what? This is going to involve all nations. Because what is it going to boil down to? What is the main thing that there is going to boil down to that they're going to need to keep this system going?
Oil.
Thank you. Oil. Oil. That's the main thing that fuels every economy on the face of the earth. Oil. Okay? So you see what the Most High said? Eventually he's going to drag them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
That's right.
Because it's going to boil down for them getting that oil to fuel their economy. Russia fuels most of Europe, about 40 to 50% of their natural gas. And that natural gas only warms and keep the apartments and the housing clean. But the oil does what?
Industry.
Run the industry, the cars, the planes, and everything else. Okay? So now, if Russia stopped supplying Europe with the oil through the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, what's going to happen to Europe? They're going to freeze. So the only alternative now is to get what? The natural gas from America. Now, in turn, America give them the natural gas. It's going to do what? It's going to show Europe that, oh, America is making all the profit. Because everybody's going to buy the natural gas from America. And that's going to in turn going to make Europe mad, like, wait a minute, you're getting all the profits. And you know the Europeans don't like America.
Wow.
So America is going to push her chest out. Yeah, we the big power. You got to buy from us. That's going to exclude Russia. And they're going to force them to depend on America. But what's going to happen? It's going to come to a point where they say, no, we're not going to support America. We want to get our own oil. So it's going to become a clash. Everybody's going to be clashing to get the oil. So then, that's where the Most High is going to drag them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Because where does most of the oil come from? The Middle East, the so-called Middle East. So it's going to be a big clash to get that what? Oil to fuel the economy. It all boils down to what? Getting the natural resources of the earth. Whoever has the natural resources rules and runs the earth. What's the two main top natural resources of the earth right now? Oil and water, and what else? Gas. That's oil go with the oil, and something else that's needed for technology.
Oxide. Chip.
It's a component that they use to make every computer.
Chip.
Silicon? Silicon?
And it's called cobalt too.
Oh.
Every nation on the face of the earth need that technology for their computer and their internet service, the World Wide Web. If you don't have that, you can't run your system. So it all boils down to the natural resources of the earth. And everybody is jockeying for it. America, Russia, China. You see China is becoming a great superpower. China is jockeying for position too. India is jockeying for position too. They're all rivaling for get that power. And you have to have the resources of the earth to stay on top. So it's going to create a big clash. Okay? That's what it's all about. Yeah, you shy.
2/3 of the world's cobalt comes from the Congo.
From Africa. Africa has the most natural resources that all the earth need. And that's why China is getting so good with Africa. So they could get control of that resource.
Right.
See, America doesn't have that connection like China to Africa. So that's why China is close to Africa like this. Okay? To get that resources. But I'm going to hit you with something else too that's real deep. Chinese are Africans. Okay? I know we've been taught that Chinese is more of an Ammon. No. A lot of Chinese are Africans and Japhetic people.
That's right.
Okay? The word sin or sinim comes from the African tribes. Okay? When you go back and check the history, a lot of the Chinese are actually Africans. And some are Japhetic too. Yeah, you're shy.
I think they come from the Khoisan tribe.
Right.
They're light skinned with the Chinese.
Yeah.
Whatever.
A lot of them come from that family. That's why they're so close into Africa. They're going back to their roots. But they're the deformed looking Africans. Okay? I know we all been taught that there were more, but they're not more. Okay? Because there's no prophecy showing that Moab will be a top rate empire today. China is a top rate country today, up with America and Russia. There's no prophecy proving that Moab will be in that position today. I know that like sounds funny, but we were taught that. We were taught that the Chinese and Japanese are Moab and Ammon. But when you really check it out, they're not. Okay? Yes, Labrai.
Real quick, man. Plus, when Nebuchadnezzar took them down, his empire didn't reach that far.
His empire didn't reach to the Far East.
Pushed them to the Far East.
You understand? And during the time of the Maccabees, Judas Maccabees was still fighting against the Moabites. So if Nebuchadnezzar pushed them to the Far East, how in the hell Judas Maccabees is still fighting against them? All right? It's impossible. If Nebuchadnezzar pushed them to the Far East, as we were taught, why were they still in the land when Judas Maccabees was reigning? Judas Maccabees fought against them. Let me touch on that real quick. And I know some people might be shocked, like, Banyamyan going off. He's teaching something that we were not taught. Yeah.
Bring it out, man.
Banyamyan ain't going off. Banyamyan did his research and study. Okay?
That's right.
I don't go there boast and exalt myself that I'm the best teacher, the greatest. But when I do my research and study, I can validate and prove what I'm saying. I'm going to bring it out when the time is ready.
Right.
All right?
Now.
Go to the Apocrypha. We'll come back right here to Job. Like I said, I'm going to touch on a lot of subjects today. China is not Moab.
Right.
China is part with Gog and Magog.
That's right.
That's why you see Jinping, what the hell his name is, with Putin. Because they're partners together. They're going to be together in this war.
That's right.
Gog and Magog. What's his name? Jinping? Yeah. Jinping. All right? I don't want to disrespect the man name, all right? Okay, so go to Maccabees in the Apocrypha. I want to show you real quick. Okay, let me show you something right here. Go to First Maccabees. First Maccabees, the 5th chapter. And we're going to start from the first verse. I'm going to show you something here. Because remember, we were taught this when we went west, that Nebuchadnezzar pushed Moab and Ammon to the Far East. But Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom never reached the Far East. The only empire that reached the Far East almost at that time was the Roman Empire. But it didn't get all the way to it. But who finally fulfilled that? The British Empire. The British Empire. Even though Rome was selling merchants back and forth to the Silk Road to China, the Roman Empire never went to China. It's only the British Empire that went into China. Okay, so let's start First Maccabees, the 5th chapter and the 1st verse.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 5, verse 1. Now when the nations round about heard that the altar was built, and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much.
So this was the time of Judas Maccabees. Okay, go ahead. This was around the 1st century BC. Okay, around the 1st century, about 140-something, 150-something BC, around that era, during the time of the Greeks. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Wherefore this thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them, and whereupon they began to slay and destroy the people. Verse 3. Then Judah fought against the children of Esau in Idumea.
See, so Judas fought against the children of Esau in Idumea. They was in their land. Go ahead.
At Abratim, because they besieged Israel.
Because they were coming against us too. Go ahead.
And he gave them a great overthrow, and abated their courage, and took their spoils. Verse 4. Also he remembered the injury of the children of Ben, who have been a snare and an offense unto the people.
And the children of Ben, the children of the children of Midian. Okay. Go ahead.
In that they lay in wait for them in the way. Verse 5. He shut them up, therefore, in the towers, and encamped against them, and destroyed them utterly, and burned the towers of that place with fire, and all that were therein. Verse 6.
Now check this out. Go ahead.
Afterwards he passed over to the children of Ammon.
See what he says? Afterward, he passed over to the children of Ammon. So did he go over to China or Japan? No. He said afterward he passed over to the children of Ammon. Where was Ammon and Moab situated? Right next to us, next door in the land of Jordan. Ammon and Moab was living in the land of Jordan. And there was two other tribes of Israel that was living in Jordan. What was those two tribes? There were two tribes in Israel that was living in the land of Jordan. Who knows those two tribes?
Now it's Gad
and Reuben. Gad and Reuben was living in the land of Jordan. They were the first two tribes that got their land over in the land of Jordan. So Gad and Reuben was right next to Moab and Ammon. Got to know that history. Gad and Reuben was not in the land of Israel, but in the land of Jordan. That was also part of our land the Most High gave us too. Okay? And Jordan is way time bigger than Israel. Okay? So you had Gad, Moab, Ammon, Reuben that was living in the land. Even Esau was in the land of Jordan, in the southern part. Okay? So read that verse again.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 5, verse 6. Afterward, he passed over to the children of Ammon.
So afterward, he passed over to the children of Ammon. Go ahead.
Where he found a mighty tower and much people, with Timotheus, their captain.
And Timotheus was their captain of the Ammonites. Go ahead.
Verse 7. So he fought many battles with them.
So you tell me he went all the way to Japan to fight against them? Read what it said. He said he fought many battles with them in the land of Ammon. Read it again.
Verse 7 again. So he fought many battles with them, till at length they were discomfited before him, and he smote them.
And he smote them. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And when he had taken Jazer with the towns belonging thereto, he returned into Judah.
See? So, if Judas Maccabees were fighting against them in the land of Ammon, that proves Nebuchadnezzar never pushed them to the far east. This was, what time period was this? The 1st century BC. Nebuchadnezzar was on the scene around what time? The 5th century BC. This is 400 years after Nebuchadnezzar.
Right.
Everybody follow what I'm saying? Everybody get the picture? Everybody understands? Who doesn't understand? Raise your hand.
Can you just repeat that again, that last part?
Okay, Nebuchadnezzar was on the scene around 586 BC, in the 5th century BC. Okay, and when the Persians took him over, it was in 530 BC. So the Persians took over from 530 BC up until the early part of the 3rd century BC, when Alexander came on the scene. So now this time period was around the 1st century BC, when the Greeks were ruling. Now when the Greeks was ruling, Ammon was still in the land of Ammon still.
Right.
If this the case, they should have been where? Over in Japan. If Nebuchadnezzar pushed them there. But they were still in the land, because Judas Maccabees fought against them. You understand? And what we were taught that Nebuchadnezzar pushed both Ammon and Moab to the far east. But that's another class, we get into that. It was the Ishmaelites that came in and replaced them in the land. Okay? The Ishmaelites came and replaced them in the land. Okay? And Moab and Ammon is still in the land today.
Sorry.
They're not no Chinese and Japanese. And why we taught they were taught because they said because they got slant eyes, they said they're Chinese Japanese. But that's not the reason why. That's another class. I'm gonna pause that for now. Okay? Yes.
They got that from in Genesis with
Yeah.
Lot.
For Lot. So a lot of people said because they got that incest look, they said only Chinese Japanese have that what you call slanted eyes. Okay? But we're gonna get that's another subject. Okay, that's a whole nother subject. We'll get, but to show you, Moab and Ammon are not Chinese and Japanese. I'm gonna set that record clear. And I found this about 10 years ago. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep it quiet to myself. Just like 10 years ago, I found out that we didn't serve 400 years of slavery in Egypt. I'm gonna keep it to myself. I didn't come out and say I'm gonna boast about it. But I showed it to the elders and said, listen. This is what I researched and found out. And the Most High showed me that. I thought I got to boast and say, yeah, I didn't do that. I allow things to wait and let the Spirit of the Most High bring it out in due time. In due time, everybody's going to see it. Right now, people say, Banyamyan going off. Banyamyan teaching against the scriptures. All right, if that's what you said, so be it. But the Most High is going to show everything in due time. Everything comes out in due time. Okay? So I'm going to go back to my other subject. I just want to bring it up, but I'm going to go into more details about that too. I know it's like a shock to some people, like, what? Yeah, I taught that too. But when I came to understanding, like, wait a minute. Where in the prophecy does it say Moab and Ammon will be a great exceeding power on the earth today? What scripture can you find to show that? There's none. The Most High said Moab and Ammon will be base. They will be low today. They won't be exalted like China is today. China is a powerhouse. America watches China. America is like, whoa, China? If America slipped, China is right up in there. Okay? Remember that movie, I think it was in one of those gangster movies with Jake? He said, yeah, we caught him slipping. We caught him slipping, so he got killed. So the minute America slips, China is up in there, baby. As a matter of fact, let me bring this talk about this guy here. About the 250 years. I gotta bring it up. Yeah, let me pull it up. Since we're touching on this subject. All right, and it's also another Uncle Tom Armstrong Williams. He even wrote about that. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up here. Pull up on your internet. Google Armstrong Williams. The mere average empire lasts for 250 years. He did a commentary on it. Pull it up. Armstrong Williams. He's a Jake. Okay, I think he's a conservative Republican, and he even commentated the average empire rules for about 250 years. He did a commentary on it, and he said, "Is America at that death's bed?" Who pulled it up? Everybody got it? Put it up on your Google. Google it. Pull it up. Armstrong Williams, and the topic was average empire rules for 250 years, and he did a commentary on it. Right? I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna read it. Since we're hopping on the subject right now. Anybody found it? Who found it? You found it? Okay. Benaniah, read up for you, Rick.
Armstrong Williams, the average empire survives for 250 years.
You got to stop and read loud.
Armstrong Williams, the average empire survives for 250 years. It's America's at death's door.
Yes, that's the answer. Yes. Okay? He was doing a commentary on that. Okay? Is America at death's door? Yes, it is. Because the scriptures tells you that. Okay? Continue.
Studies show that an empire survives on average a mere 250 years.
See that?
Did you know that?
Study shows, because this was a keen observation by scholars and historians, that most empires rule and last for 250 years. Then after that, down, baby. You're going down. Down, down, down. Go ahead.
To put that in context, the world's oldest person recently died at 124 years old. So, she lived nearly half as long as most empires do. Most Americans are unaware of this small but critical statistic.
Stop right there. Most Americans are unaware of this statistic because what? They've been taught lies and they're ignorant to history. They don't teach them history in school. What they teach them is American BS. George Washington, they cut down no cherry tree. Lies. Christopher Columbus discovered America. Teach true history. But they're not going to teach that. Okay, read that part again, Benaniah.
Right. Schlag. Most Americans are unaware of this small but critical statistic, which may suggest much about our country's future.
Right, the future of America is bleak.
That's right.
Okay? That's why Trump, when he got in office, what was Trump's slogan? Make America great. Because Trump and all his people told him, listen, America is going to fall. You have to go back in and make us feel great. That was his slogan. Everybody want to know why that was his slogan? Because Trump got his advisors. And they told him, listen, Trump, we're declining. You have to give us hope. Go in and give us hope. That's why his slogan was, make America great again. But it's not going to be great again. It's over. Continue.
It is past time for Americans to confront the painful reality that our time as a world superpower may be limited.
See? They have to confront and deal with it, and it's going to kill them. It's going to hurt. It's going to give them heart attacks when they have to deal with that issue. We going to slavery? Yes. So you mean to tell me those guys on the street that was teaching America is going to fall, are they right? Yes. It's going to be a painful ordeal. Okay? It ain't get heated yet. Wait till it comes to a focused central point, straight up in their face. Then you're going to see white boys going to get their guns, and they're going to say, to hell with it. Okay? January 6th. Last year was the beginning point of that. That was the beginning. And it's going to get worse. Okay? When gas prices raise and increase, and food shortage, oh boy, it's on. Reality is going to set in. Continue.
And it is time to explore how to slow down what frankly is inevitable at some point.
Stop. He said to slow down what is inevitable. You're not going to slow it down. You cannot slow this down. This is the Most High's prophecy. Egypt thought they could have slowed it down too. All empires thought they could have slowed down their judgment and their time from ruling. But no way. Read Job 14:5 again. Hold on to that right there.
This is the book of Job, chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined.
We're going to finish reading that, Banana. Okay. Seeing his days are determined. Go ahead.
The number of his months are with thee.
The number of his months are with the Most High. Go ahead.
Thou hast appointed his bond that he cannot pass.
See, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass those bounds that the Most High set. Okay? And they're coming down. And I praise the Most High. Hallelujah. Hell with this damn captivity and slavery and oppression. We should be glad that this is coming to an end. If you're not glad, something wrong with you. Something wrong with you, man. I'm damn glad we're coming out of this damn oppression, man. To hell with this crap, man. Every damn day you gotta get up working, paying bills, paying taxes. You're working. Where the hell your money going? You paying your damn rent? Living hell, catching pure hell? I'm glad this is coming to an end, man. Okay? And the Most High said, like he said, when he brings us out of this captivity, it's going to be like a dream to us. But the Most High said, we're going to be happy. Continue reading that, Benaniah.
That United States global domination will not persist indefinitely.
See? America's what?
Domination.
Global domination will not continue. That's why they're watching China. And that's why Russia made their move. Russia understands that too. It's about global dominance. Continue.
This will not persist indefinitely. This may be difficult to grasp and accept.
See, it may be difficult to grasp and to understand. But why is this going to happen? Why? Why you guys are so evil? No, we're not evil. We're right. We're rejoicing. When we were in slavery, they were rejoicing over us and living good.
That's right.
Deliciously. Okay, and they were proud of it. Oh, we are Americans. The great America. They were happy. All right? They had the foot over us. You couldn't tell them nothing. You couldn't tell them that they were inferior. Oh, yes, we're the superior race. The Anglo-Saxon race is the superior race. We're the superior people on the earth. God made us so you could be our slaves, Negro. Okay? They enforced that and they taught that. Okay? They call it what? What's the term they use? The term manifest destiny. Manifest destiny of God to enslave the Negroes. Okay? But the Most High is going to prove them wrong. Continue reading that, Benaniah.
But it has never been true for any civilization in the past. And it will never be true.
See? It have never been true for any civilization in the past. Neither will it be true for this present civilization. No civilization ever ruled forever.
That's right.
Continue.
For any society in the future. As we consider historical empires, it is worth noting that the vast majority of Americans do not regard the United States as an empire.
But it is. They don't see America as an empire, but America is an empire. Okay? An empire has global influence and dominance over all nations. You have an outreach of your military base in every country. Okay? You have embassies in countries, and your influence the whole entire earth. Okay? And America has influenced the earth. Okay? That's why the Most High said the nations are drunk of the wine of the wrath of the beast of the whore.
That's right.
All nations, even China and Japan. Where do you think they got the idea of wearing a monkey suit?
Wear the suit.
All nations wear that monkey suit wherever they are. Talk about democracy. When you go back 100 years, China wasn't wearing no monkey suit. Or Japan.
That's right.
Or the Arabs. But everybody's following the way of the beast. All right? Go ahead.
Not regard the United States as an empire in the classical sense, despite the fact that many people throughout the world do. However, for the purpose of this column, the United States, although being modern in every meaning of the word, does indeed qualify as an empire.
And it is an empire. And they know that. The ruling elites, they know America is an empire. But they would, no, we're not an empire. We're just a democratic society that wants to make everybody part of democracy. That's the language that they speak to you. They come with peace, talking peace. Okay? The Most High said their words are like what? Butter, smoother than butter. But what was in their hearts? War. Okay? Go ahead.
Since World War II, the United States has been primarily concerned with spreading democracy.
That's right. Since World War II. And when was that finalized in World War II? When they dropped the bomb on Japan. Then Japan said, okay, no more, no mas, no more. Japan surrendered. And from then, Japan became a democratic society, following America's ways. Okay? Germany, everybody. Since World War II, America became that dominant power on the earth. And how was that done? When they dropped that bomb. That shook everybody back on there. Whoa! Don't mess with the beast, man. That's power. That's how you rule the earth with power. Okay? He that has the weapon rules the world, man. You got a gun? I don't have one. You can rule the earth. But if you have a gun and I have a gun, the same gun, you're going to tread lightly. Okay? You're not going to talk all that ish. Okay? If you got a 45 and I got a 45, you're going to like, okay, can we talk? You're not going to put out your gun and say, I'm going to bust a cap in you. You're going to like, oh, okay, let's talk first. Okay? So that's how the Most High is setting up the power struggle in the earth. Continue.
And freedom across the world, seeing itself as a sort of global liberator.
Right, and that's what America sees themselves as, a global liberator. So why are they not going to help Ukraine now? Why are you not going as a global liberator for Ukraine?
Bring it out.
Because the big bear is there. And they know any wrong move is going to trigger World War III. They know this. They know this. Go ahead.
In reality, the U.S. maintains over 800 military outposts and special operations.
Stop right there. Hear that? 800 outposts and military installations in almost every country in the face of the earth. China doesn't have that. Japan doesn't have that. India doesn't have that. Russia doesn't have that. Only America and Great Britain has that. And America surpassed Great Britain when it comes to that. Right? So that's why China is trying to get into Africa. To get what? Allies. To build allies. Go ahead.
Outposts and special operation groups spread around the globe. This is a critical consideration in determining where the United States belongs. In the former empires since, like those before it, it has been primarily interested in extending influence and power.
See, that's what it's about. Extending your influence and your power. That's what it's about. Your influence and your power. So now Russia is saying, listen, Ukraine was mine. But it was the CIA that went and took it over during the time of the Soviet bloc fell. So Putin is saying, listen, I'm taking back what is mine.
That's right.
And just like China is going to take back what is theirs, Taiwan. Taiwan doesn't belong to England. Okay? England stole that. Just like they stole Hong Kong. You remember back in the 80s when Argentina was fighting the Falkland Islands? Yeah. Remember that? Yeah. The Falkland Islands don't belong to Britain. It belongs to the people in Argentina. But Britain said it's ours. So they had a little skirmish. The British went around and took over all nations, okay? Just like America did. And guess what? I guarantee China's going to take back 21 too. It's coming. That's next. Okay? Because the Most High said, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdoms against kingdoms. Okay? Go ahead.
This is not something that I mean as a criticism, but rather as a contextual point.
See? And he's right. It's a contextual point. But it should be a criticism, because America needs to be criticized for all the evil they've been doing in the earth. Okay? And what they did to us, all the unjust acts and deeds that they did to us. Continue.
However, it is this overreach in the pursuit of continuous power and influence that frequently leads to empires abiding slowly, withering.
Withering slowly. Right, because America is what? Is stretching herself thin abroad. The same way Rome fell. How did Rome fail? Rome had wars everywhere, stretching themselves thin. And you know what? That thing is so true. History always repeats itself. So that's good on that banana. When I get a chance, y'all can read the whole thing. And it's good what he brought. But the other guy, I think Armstrong Williams got this from this guy called Sir John Bagot. And he wrote an in-depth analysis of history. Let me pull it up real quick and show you right here what he wrote. And in doing that, right, he gave you a list of all the nations that rule the earth. And we'll get back to our class. But this is part of the class too. But I just want to show this here. Okay? Give me 1 minute. Okay, Michael, just read this right here. This guy, one could make it bigger.
All right. The Fate of Empires and Search for Survival. Sir John Globe. John Bagot Globe was born in 1897.
1897, in the time of the British Empire running and ruling the earth. Go ahead.
His father being a regular officer in the Royal Engineers. At the age of 4, he left England for Mauritius,
Yeah.
Mauritius, where his father was posted for a 3-year tour duty. At the age of 10, he was sent to school for a year in Switzerland. These youthful travels may have opened his mind to the outside world at the early age. He entered the Royal Military Academy at Woolwich in September 1914 and was commissioned in the Royal Engineers in April 1915. He served throughout his First World War in France and Belgium, being wounded 3 times and awarded the Military Cross. In 1920, he volunteered to serve for service in Iraq.
Right, because Britain was controlling Iraq during that time. That's why they was able to get in there and control the oil. It was called the Anglo oil production. They was controlling Iraqi oil and even Iran, until eventually Iran said, "Get the hell out." Okay, because it was the British that established all the different oil fields and everything in Iraq and Iran. They were that set up the Arabs and gave them certain positions in the land. Okay, the British were that bastard that was controlling the affairs during that time. Okay, go ahead.
As a regular officer, but in 1926, he resigned his commission and accepted an administration post under the Iraq government.
Right. So when he retired from that, he went into researching and studying about world empires. Now I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you this here. I'm not gonna be long on this part. I just want to show you what he came up with in his observation and studies. See this here right here? The chart here with these nations. I want you to read this here. The nations, the dates, rise and fall, and the duration of it right here. And see what he started with? He started from the Assyrian Empire.
All right, these are the lives of the empires, the nation, Assyria.
He started with Assyria. That's what he started with. Go ahead.
The dates of rise and fall. 859 to 612 BC. Duration in years 247.
247 years. Go ahead, the next one.
Persia. 538 to 330 BC.
See that?
Duration 208 years.
208 years. Go ahead.
Cyrus and his descendants. Greece. 331
Beginning with Alexander the Great
to 100 BC.
to 100 BC. 100 BC, the Maccabees won the scene. Go ahead.
Duration 231 years.
231 years. Go ahead.
Alexander and his successors. Roman Republic.
The Roman Republic. That's the first part of it. Go ahead.
260 years to 27 BC.
260 years. Go ahead.
Duration 233 years. Roman Empire.
The Roman Empire now. Okay. When the Roman Empire came to its full rulership, go ahead.
27 BC
27 BC
to AD 180.
to AD 180. Then 10 years after that, black emperors took over the Roman Empire. Okay, Septimius Severus, Maximilian, okay, Justinian. Okay, so 10 years after that, black emperors took over the Roman Empire. Go ahead.
Dark Ages, man. The Dark Ages.
Yeah, going into the Dark Ages. Go ahead.
Duration 207 years.
207 years. So he's showing you, he did his research. Okay, go ahead.
Arab Empire.
The Arab Empire under Muhammad, when Muhammad came on the scene,
AD 634
634 AD
to 880.
880. The last Arab Empire was where? In Spain. Okay, go ahead.
Duration 246 years.
246 years. Okay, now skip all of those because he named and jumped down to what, the Britain, the British Empire.
All right, Britain. 1700 to 1950.
See, 1700 to 1915. Go ahead.
1950.
1950.
Yeah. Duration 250 years.
250 years. And then after he did that, he did a examination of America. And he said, America is 250 years in the year 2026. So from all this observation of all these empires, is he wrong?
No.
No. If most of these empires ruled for a period of over 200 years, what makes you think America is going to exceed all those kingdoms? And he did a great. I'm gonna read some words. That was it on that, Mike. But I'm gonna show you what he said right here. I'm gonna go back to the scriptures, but I just want to bring these points out. All right, I took notes of it here too, because I found that he did a great extensive research, and I have to give him kudos for that. You know, when a person does in-depth research and go back to ancient history, you have to give them credit, because they based it from what? Observation of empires that ruled before. And this is what he stated. Okay? He said, he gave at least 7 reasons why empires fall, but mainly to America. He said decadence is marked by what? Defensiveness, pessimism, materialism, frivolity, influx of foreigners, a welfare state, and weakening of religion. Okay? Then he also said decadence is due to what? Long period of wealth and power. And America has enjoyed a long period of wealth and power. All right? He says some of the reasons due to what? Selfishness, love of money, loss of a sense of duty. Okay? And what's the main thing that keeps America stupid? Frivolous things. Things that has no meaning. Vanity. And he said those are the 7 reasons why America is going to fall. And he's not wrong. He's right. Morality, the morals of America is the main thing that's going to bring it down. They don't have no morals. They lost it. So now we're seeing, like he said, 2026 will make America 250 years as a ruling empire. Let's see what happened in 2026 as we approach the year 2026. Right? Because we know we're in the end of our punishment. Right? And the Most High gave us that punishment of 400 years in captivity. Right? And our captivity is coming to an end.
That's right.
It's all time right in to the end of our punishment. Yes, LeBron.
Ben, just because his analogy was great doesn't mean America is going to make it to 2026.
Right, because the Most High is going to cut the time short. Because the way they're moving, there will be no flesh left to save. That's what the scripture said. The Most High have to cut the time short. So if he gave an analysis of it going 250 years, the Most High might say, you know what? I'm going to cut that thing short. I'm not going to allow it to go beyond that.
That's right.
Because like the scripture said, there shall be no flesh left to save if the Most High didn't cut the time short.
That's right.
And we're approaching that time. The food is poison. The air is poison. The minds of the people is corrupt. So what's left? Destruction. Okay, so let's finish. Let's go back to Job, the 14th chapter, and start from the 20th verse. Job 14 and 20. Still got more grounds to cover. Right? I just want to bring those points out. All right. Job 14. Actually, start from no, sorry. Lose that Job. Where we cover that. Okay. Okay, go over here to Job. One second. Okay, go to Job 20. Job 20 and start from the 4th verse.
This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 4. Knowing thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth. Verse 5. That the triumphing of the wicked is short.
All right, so you see this. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short. All right, go ahead.
And the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment.
See, and the joy of the hypocrite is just for a moment. Okay, continue.
Verse 6. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach onto the clouds.
Now check that out. Now a person reading this like say, wait a minute. How does his head reach to the clouds? All right. If you're a carnal person reading this, and you're reading this like, okay, you just pick up the Bible, and he said, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, you just read it verbatim. It means that's what it means, right? But what does that mean? It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds. What does that mean?
It's like pride and power.
Mm-hmm. But on the physical, how does his excellency mount up to the heavens?
Try to make itself be as the Most High.
That's on the spiritual level.
Okay.
Putting himself on the moon. So
Right. Putting himself in outer space with his technology. Okay? His excellency is his technology. That's what he professed. That's what he trusts in. You ever see Elon Musk? Check up Elon Musk. His whole thing is about technology for the future for America. Right? So their excellency is their technology that they trust in. So read it again.
This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 6. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds.
So how does his head reach unto the clouds? With his space technology. His what? His planes, his aviation. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 7. Yet he should perish forever like his own dung. They which seen him shall say, where is he?
Right? So he's going to perish like his own dung. And they that see him is going to say, where is he? In the end of all this. All right, go ahead.
Verse 8. He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Verse 9. The eye alone.
The eye also.
The eye also, which saw him, shall see him no more. Neither shall his face place any more behold him.
So a lot of people think when Job was writing this, Job was just like writing something just far-fetched. No, Job was reading about the wicked. Job saw the wicked and what was going to be the end result of the wicked. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 10. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hand shall restore their goods.
Now, let me ask you all this here. How is his children trying to seek to please the poor? Read again.
Job chapter 20, verse 10 again. His children shall seek to please the poor.
His children shall seek to please the poor.
And his hand shall restore their goods.
And his hand shall restore their goods.
So they're going to bring back all the wealth they stole from.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking along where religion, giving them religion.
Not so much. Read again. Let me see if I get it. He said his children.
Verse 10. His children shall seek to please the poor.
Right? So now, who's his children? The children of who?
Esau.
The children of Esau, the elite family rulers. Okay? The DuPonts, the Gettys, the Rockefellers. All right? All these top families that runs America. His children shall do what?
Seek to please the poor.
How do they seek to please the poor?
They're putting politicians or black leaders in trying to push them up to compensate and please the poor that are not in politics.
Right. And trying to give you like certain things that, okay, we know we did you wrong, but this is what we're trying to do in the place of what we did. Yes.
Giving you these bogus holidays.
Bogus holidays.
Yes.
Juneteenth.
And all kind of stuff to make you feel like, okay, we can forget what they did to us. All right? So they're trying to seek to please the poor. Okay, well, we know you've been disfranchised, you've been ostracized, you've been redlined. Okay, we're trying to make things easier for blacks.
Like incentives.
Yeah, giving you incentives. You understand? Stimulus, yeah. Grants. We're going to try to please black people. Oh, we did them wrong. Okay, you're black. Okay, you want to be a mayor? We'll make you a mayor. Okay. We'll make you a mayor. Okay, no problem. We don't have no problem with that. As long as you just follow what we told you to do. Just do as you're told. Okay? You want a first black commissioner? No problem. You want a black president? No problem. We'll give you one. But he's going to follow our rules and regulation. And they did by giving you Obama. And Obama was one of the worst things they did for us. Because they rock you back to sleep.
That's right.
You like, oh! You're so happy. And he was there as a distraction. As a distraction. To rock you back to sleep, to make you believe we're getting somewhere now. And Obama was a puppet for the elites. He did everything against you. Okay? Obama passed laws against you. Okay? He passed executive laws against you. Obama passed executive law to put our behinds back in slavery.
That's right.
Go check it out, the executive order he passed. Okay? Obama gave Monsanto the green light.
That's right.
Where they can't sue. You can't sue Monsanto for the faulty poisonous food that they're giving you. Okay? Obama did a lot of dirt while he was in office against our people. But that was all to cover up a smoke screen. Okay? Yes. Yeah, he could do all kind of crap. So he was just there as a smoke screen. And he was there to stall time for America. That's all he was there for. To stall time. So the elites could get their program together. Okay? That's all it was. And for allowing them to continue to rob Africa of the resources. Okay? Because a black face pays a lot. With a black face, you could get a lot done. Okay? So with Obama in office, he was able to go and deceive Africa. And make the people in Africa think that he's for them. But he wasn't. What he did was pave the way for the big corporations to go in and rob Africa of the resources. Okay? So that's what they did. So they try to seek to please the poor. To make you feel that you're accepted now in society. Continue.
This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 11. His bones are full of the sins of his youth.
See? So he hasn't changed. He's just doing what? He's becoming high-tech in the way he's dealing with you. He's being more craftier in the way he deals with you. Now he's not coming out and saying, just kill the nigger. But no, let's kill the nigger in a more sophisticated way. Okay? There's ways of killing us. Instead of coming right up and kill us. But the only one that's killing us right up is the cops. But the institutions can't come out and do it. They have to do it in a more covert way. So you won't see it as if they hate us. Continue.
Which shall lie down with him in the dust. Verse 12. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth.
See? Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth. Wickedness is sweet in his mouth. Go ahead.
Though he hide it under his tongue.
He hides it under his tongue. He doesn't want to call you the N-word, but that's in his mind. God damn. You damn. That's the first thing that comes out of his mouth when he sees you. But he hides it. Oh, how you doing? That fake. How you doing? You ever notice white people? Fake smile when they see you. Hi, how you doing? A fake smile, man. A phony paper smile. And try, oh, hi, how you doing? But in the back of their mind, I can't stand you.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. Though he spared it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth.
See, it's still within him, his mouth. Yeah. It's within him. Let him drink a beer. Let him get drunk. That's the first thing that's going to come out. And he's not going to hide that. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 14. Yet his meat in his bowels is turned, it is the gall of asp within him. Verse 15. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again.
And they're going to vomit up all the riches that they have stolen from us. Okay? It's just a matter of time. Continue.
The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. Verse 16. He shall suck the poison of asp, the viper. The town shall slay him.
The viper's tongue shall slay him. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 17. He shall not see the river, the flood, the brook of honey and butter. Verse 18. That which he labored for shall he restore.
See that? For that which he labored for shall he restore. He's going to give back.
That's right.
What he has stolen from us. Continue.
And shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be. And he shall not rejoice therein.
You're not going to rejoice because hard times is coming to this country. Inflation, famine, riots, okay? Civil unrest is coming, okay? Because when everything gets more heated in Russia, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the American government, okay? Right now, everything seems like it's okay. But wait till it intensifies. Wait till Putin goes in and take over another country in Europe. Wait till you're going to see. Because Putin is on a mission.
That's right.
Okay? And there's no stopping Putin now. Continue.
Verse 19. Because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor.
See that?
Because he have violently taken away the house which he built not.
Right. He have violently taken away a house that he builded not. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 20. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly.
Right? They're not going to feel quietness in his belly. From this day on, America is not going to feel quietness. There's always going to be something popping up and rising up. Okay? It's going to be problems after problems and solvable problems. Continue.
He shall not save of that which he desired.
He's not going to save of which he desires. And guess what? A lot of people is going to lose their pensions too. Check it out. Here I'm saying. When this thing really comes down to it, a lot of people is going to lose their 401ks, their pensions, because Uncle Sam going to say inflation. because they're moving towards what? A new digital currency system. So this is all part of their plan. Remember, America doesn't sleep in nothing. Okay, whatever comes up as a situation or a problem, they always move on it. This situation with Russia, they're going to use it to see, we have to raise taxes. We have to create a new monetary system. That's going to be a justification for why Russia invaded Ukraine. All right? It's going to be new ideas. What you going to see? Mark my words. You're going to see in the upcoming days and weeks. It's going to be something different every week as this thing continues. Because it's not going back to the glorious days. If any of y'all think it's going back to the glorious days, you may as well leave this truth now. It's not going back to the way it was before. From this day forward, it's going to be problems after problems. Yeah, Brian.
They was talking about Russia and Ukraine for about 3 weeks now. So think about it. For the last 3 weeks, you haven't been hearing much about COVID or anything.
Right. All of a sudden now COVID is out the window. So now it went from COVID now to war. Okay? So I'm telling you, it's not going to get better.
That's right.
Hard times is going to kick in now.
That's right.
So you better put your trust in the Most High now.
That's right.
Okay? Glorious days is over for America. Okay? Go ahead.
This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 21. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods.
And every man is going to be for himself. Okay? When it's really hit the fan in America, when the price of gas jumped to $5, okay, and people can't afford to pay their bills, everybody's going to be man for himself. Everybody's going to get their best friend. Meet my little friend. And you know Americans love their little friend. Okay? They love that little boy. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency,
So it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency. Go ahead.
he shall be in straits.
See that? You know what straits?
Tight,
Who know what straits?
tight, hard.
Hard times. Straits mean it's not going to be no more. It's going to be rocky roads. So in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. It's going to be problems bucking up against problems. Every time he turn around, it's going to be a problem. As the scripture said, he's going to put his hand against a wall, and a serpent is going to bite him. Then he's going to try to run from that,
Run to a bear.
and then he's going to run to a bear. All right? That's your favorite scripture, Mike.
Right.
Isaiah 63:9.
No, in Amos.
Amos.
He said he's going to put his hand to the door, he's going to run to the serpent, then he's going to run, then he's going to run, and then the bear's going to meet him. Yeah, let bring it out. Yeah, it's going to be problems after problems. Yeah, right? Let me bring it out. Yeah, Amos, yeah. He's going to run to a brick wall after brick walls, man, of problems. All right, Amos 5:19. All right?
This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 19. As if a man did flee from a lion.
Right, so he's going to flee from a lion, the roaring lion, all right?
18, set it up with 18.
Yeah, he saw from 18, yeah.
All right, from 18. This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. What
To what end?
to what end is it for you?
Right.
The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
See, the day of the Most High and Yahushua is not light. It's just, man. Oh, man, it's going to be darkness. It's going to be a gloomy day. Okay? And for all these Christians, the Jesus, Lord Jesus, he's coming. It's going to be darkness for you, boy. Because you got that image of some white guy coming out the sky, coming to save you. Okay? It's going to be a rude awakening to a lot of our people, too. Okay? Because they're still trusting that garbage. It doesn't matter what color he is. Just believe in your heart. Just believe in your heart. Okay? We're going to see in that day. Okay? The scripture said man's heart's going to fill up with fear in that day. Okay? Continue.
Verse 19. As if a man did flee from a lion.
As if a man did flee from a lion, running from a lion, a hungry lion, not a lion that's in a zoo that's yawning, a hungry lion. Okay, go ahead.
And a bear met him.
Oh, shucks, and a bear met him now. A big, ferocious brown bear.
Grizzly.
Or grizzly. Right? With a claw sticking out. Okay, go ahead.
Or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall.
So he ran from the bear now. Oh, I'm safe from that. So he went into the house and leaned his hand.
Out of breath.
On the wall, and a serpent bit him.
A black mamba bit him. A black mamba bit him. So he should have run from all the different perils that's coming against him. Okay, I ran in the house now, so I'm safe now. Oh, thank God, knock on wood. You know what I mean?
Lion.
Then a serpent came out, a black mamba. You know, a black mamba is a poisonous snake. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 20. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light?
Right, check that out. So not the day of the Most High be darkness and not light. All right, go ahead.
Even very dark, and no brightness in it.
And no brightness in it. Now go over real quick to Zephaniah 1 and 14. I'm coming back to Zephaniah 1 and 14. Let me show you something here. Right? Because it's building up. It's building up, man. Boy, I'm telling you, man. Zephaniah 1 and 14.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, verse 14. The great day of the Most High is near.
It's near. It's right around the corner. You can smell it. You can feel it. Okay, go ahead.
It is near and hastening greatly.
And it's hastening greatly. Okay, go ahead.
Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly.
Yeah, the mighty man. When it says mighty man, it's talking about men that has great power and wealth in the earth. Rulers, kingdoms. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 15. That day is a day of wrath.
See, that day is a day of wrath. Go ahead.
A day of trouble and distress.
Trouble and distress. Okay, go ahead.
A day of wasteness and desolation. A day of darkness and gloominess.
See, it says a day of darkness and gloominess. Okay, go ahead.
A day of clouds and thick darkness.
See, a day of clouds and thick darkness. All right, go ahead.
Verse 16. A day of trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities.
See, so the Most High trumpet, the angels gonna blow their trumpet, and the government's gonna blow their trumpet. They're gonna sing a. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. This is an actual state of emergency. Okay? That trumpet is going to be signaled in this society, in the governments. Read that verse again.
Verse 16 from the top. A day of trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities.
Against the fenced cities, go ahead.
And against the high towers.
And against the high towers. That alarm is going to be signaled in all cities, man. Countries. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 17. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Most High, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the down. Verse 18. Neither their silver nor their gold.
Check that out. Here it says, neither their silver nor their gold
shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath.
So, all that silver and gold they're talking they have, it's not going to be able to deliver them in the day of the Most High's wrath. Because all that gold and silver is going to go to us. It's coming to us when we finish our punishment here. Okay, go ahead.
But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy remnant of all them that dwell in the land.
So it says, and he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land.
All praises.
All praises. Let's go back to Job. All right. So the day of the Most High Yahushua it's not going to be a glorious day, man. Okay.
Job 20, 21.
Right. Job
20.
20 and 21. 22.
All right, 22. This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 22. In the fullness of 22, 22.
Yeah, read 22 again. Yeah.
22. In the fullness of his sufficiency.
Right. So what does that mean when it says in the fullness of his sufficiency? What does that mean? I want you all to get the understand the scripture. So when you read, you can see it like, wow. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency. What does sufficiency mean? When you have enough. When you think you have enough. So the Most High said, when he's completely filled up and think everything is good and set. Okay, everything is good for America now. Guess what's going to happen?
He shall be in strength.
He's going to be in straits. Now he's going to be in problems. Straits mean problems. Not a straight road, but a bumpy road. Okay? A bumpy road of problems. Civil problems. Okay? With his own people too. Amongst the Republicans, amongst the Democrats. All right? Go ahead.
Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him.
See, every hand of the wicked shall come upon it. China, Russia, North Korea, the other nations. Every hand of the wicked shall come against him. Why? Because when a person sees that you're in a low state and you're weak, that's the best time to attack. Okay? That's taking, what's the word is taking advantage of what? Your vulnerabilities. When you're most weak, strike. Hit hard. Right? Just like when you're at boxing match, when you fight martial arts, right? And you hit a guy, you hit him, and you hit him good, and he, oh! That's your chance to finish him off. All right? That's what the nation's waiting for. They're waiting for that death blow for America.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what. You think Japan forgot Hiroshima and Nagasaki? No, they didn't forget. They're just going along with America's BS. But Japan waiting for their chance to get an upper hand in America again. Okay? All nations waiting. You think the Iraqis ain't waiting? Afghanistan? America did them dirty. So all nations waiting for that time. And that's why the Most High said, when you go back to Revelation 17, it said, these have one mind, and shall give their kingdom unto the beast. And they shall eat her flesh, and they're going to burn her with fire. Okay? That's what it's going to come down to. They're going to burn this whore with fire. Okay? Continue.
Verse 23. When he is about to be filled, to fill his belly.
See? When you're about to fill his belly. Oh, yes, I'm good now. Oh, good meal. Good, good, good. Go ahead.
The Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him.
See that? The Most High is going to cast his fury of his wrath upon them. Go ahead.
And shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
While he's enjoying it. While he's having that good time. While he think good time is going to come back again. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 24. He shall flee from the iron weapon.
What is the iron weapon he's going to flee from? The missiles. That's the iron weapon he's going to try to flee from. Go ahead.
And the bow of steel shall strike him true.
And the bow of steel shall strike him through. When you shoot an arrow, right? You shoot it. When your missile is shot, it's shot from what? From the silos. It's almost the same thing. And that missile is coming like an arrow. Straight for its target. Doesn't miss. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 25. It is drawn.
See, it is drawn. Go ahead.
And cometh out of the body.
What is the body?
Silos.
The silos. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Go ahead.
Yea, the glistening sword cometh out of his hull.
See?
Of his God. Sorry.
The glittering sword. What does the Most High call a glittering sword? Why does he call a missile a glittering sword?
Because of the fire that comes behind
The fire. So it glitters. The fire. That's a sword. That missile is a sword. All right? Go ahead.
Terrors are upon him. Verse 26. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places.
See? All darkness is going to be hid in the secret places. Go ahead.
A A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him.
See that? See that word? It shall go ill. Who uses that word? Yo, it's gonna go ill with you, man. Who uses that? We use that. The Most High says it's gonna go ill with him. Okay? That's hip talk. Okay? That's the Most High. It's gonna go ill with you, man. All right? Read again.
It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle.
See, those that's left in his tabernacle, in his kingdom, it ain't gonna be good for them. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 27. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity.
See, now the heaven is gonna reveal his iniquity. The heaven is exposing all the evil that he have done. Go ahead.
And the earth shall rise against him.
And the
Rise
earth
up
shall
against
rise
him.
up again. How's the earth rising up against him? All nations and what else? Storms, natural disasters. Okay? What he called
Mother Nature.
Mother Nature, and what's the other term he used? Famous word he used. Scientific word he used. That word he used all the time. Global warming. Right. Global warming. Yep. Global warming. Okay. Go ahead.
This is Job chapter 20, verse 28. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath.
So in the day of his wrath, he's not going to keep nothing. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 29. This is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Most High.
See that? You see that? Now let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. I got a lot more to bring up, but 2 o'clock already. Well, but I'm gonna try to cover it up, knock it up short. I'm gonna make this a part 2 anyway. All right. Go to 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. Because I wanted to touch in Egypt to showing you the gods of Egypt and why the Most High brought the plagues in Egypt. Okay, for all of those gods, the Most High brought the plagues, the flies, the plague of the cattle. All those plagues represented the gods of Egypt. Okay, and the last and final plague was the death of the firstborn of Egypt that was targeted towards Pharaoh himself. Okay? But every plague that you read in the Bible, in the book of Exodus, represented one of the gods of Egypt.
That's right.
And the Most High was making mockery of them to show them that their gods ain't nothing. Okay? So let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. Start from the top.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night.
So this is Ezra. The Most High was showing him dreams. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 2. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the ways thereof. Verse 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong in the thousands of heaven.
So that's Yahushua with the angels. It says, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Go ahead.
And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
So when it says, in the 3rd verse here, it says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. What is the thousands of heaven?
Angels.
Right, the angels, the multitude of angels that's coming with Yahushua. Right? Yahushua is coming with thousands and thousands and thousands of angels with him. Okay? And even in the book of Deuteronomy, Moses spoke about that. It said the Most High came from Sinai with thousands of angels. Moses prophesied that was going to happen. In Revelation, it speaks about the same thing too in the book of Revelation. All right, continue.
Verse 4. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. Verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven.
See, so there's going to be a multitude of men coming from the four winds of heaven, from the four directional points of the earth, to fight against Yahushua in his final climatic battle. This is the third world war here. Okay? Where they're going to fight against Yahushua. But we in the making of the third world war. It's already building up. But this is the climax. This is the ending part of it here. Where they're going to fight against Yahushua and the angels. Because they're going to be fighting amongst themselves. Then they're going to say, wait a minute. We have forces coming to fight against us. We have to stop and focus our attention against what's coming against us. And that's what they're going to do. To fight against Yahushua and the angels to keep this raggedy, wicked, evil kingdom.
That's right.
Okay, go ahead.
To subdue the man that came out of the sea.
See, and they're going to subdue the man that came out from the sea, which is Yahushua. Go ahead.
Verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain.
And that great mountain represents the chariots. The chariot that he's coming in. Go ahead.
And flew up upon it. Verse 7. But I would have seen the region of the place where the hills was graven, and I could not. Verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid.
So he show you, they're going to fight against him. They're going to be afraid, but they're still going to have it in their mind to fight against Yahushua and the angels. Right? Go ahead.
And yet durst fight.
Yet they're still going to fight. Okay, go ahead.
Verse
so,
9.
So any black person in the white man military, get the hell off now. Because you're going to die.
That's right.
You're going to die. Ain't no ifs and buts about it.
Sizzling.
All right? You're going to be smoked. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lift up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war.
Why? Why is he saying this?
Because he's showing them how Shah's just going to watch as his father take care of everything.
No, he's just going. He's going to give the word. The word. He's going to give the word, and it's going to consume them. But the angel's going to get busy too. Okay, the angel's going to get busy. All right, go ahead.
Verse 10. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire.
So he's going to give the word and boom. And he's going to consume them with that laser beam effect. Okay? He's just going to give the word. And it's going to consume them. Go ahead. Read again from 10.
10 again from the top. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire.
That's the laser beam effect. Okay, go ahead.
And out of his lips a flaming breath. And out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempers.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a day, man. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one.
See, they're gonna be burned up, every one of them. Okay, go ahead.
So that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke.
Dust. There's gonna be dust and smell of smoke. Okay, go ahead.
When I saw this, I was afraid.
So check this out. Even Ezra said he was afraid.
Come.
So you think we're not gonna be afraid? Ezra said he was afraid when he saw this thing, man. When the Most High showed him this vision. And guess what? This is gonna come to pass very soon. We're living in that time.
That's right.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 12. Afterward saw I the same man come down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, some of them were bound, and the other some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through fear, great fear, and I awake and said,
Go ahead.
verse 14, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning,
So the Most High showed him from the beginning, before it happened. Okay, go ahead.
and has counted me worthy that thou should have received my prayers. Verse 15. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream.
So Ezra said, man, you got to show me the interpretation of this dream, man. You have to break this thing down to me. All right, go ahead.
Verse 16. For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. Verse 17. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Verse 18. Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days.
So you were saying the things that are laid up in the latter days. He was speaking about the times that we're living in now.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Which shall happen unto them and to those that are left behind. Verse 19. Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Verse 20. Yet it's easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, as and not to see the things that happen in the last days.
Right. So you want we want to see what's going to happen in the last days. Okay, and the Most High will give us a front seat to see this. Okay, a lot of us is going to see this destruction. The Most High said, only with your eyes shall you see the destruction of the wicked.
Yeah, Ben, but he said it's easier for this not to get away from you.
Right.
You're going to be in this.
You're gonna be- yeah.
It's much harder for you to die before this happens.
You're right, because the Most High wants to see this.
That's right.
Okay,
Right.
for all that we suffered here, the Most High wants to witness His great destruction upon the wicked. Okay, payback. They said payback is a beat. Payback is a mother, man. Okay, go ahead.
And he answered unto me and said, verse 21, the interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the things that thou hast required.
So the Most High is going to show him the thing that he required. Go ahead.
Verse 22, whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. Verse 23, he that shall endure the perils in the time have kept himself.
See, that's what Scripture said. He that endured to the end, the same shall be what? Saved. You have to endure this thing to the end. Go ahead.
They that be fallen into danger are such as have worked and faith towards the Almighty.
See, it says, they that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith toward the Almighty. You need that faith and that works, which is what?
right.
The law and the faith. You have to have both, the law and the faith. Right? And the same thing goes right in Revelation. It says, go to Revelation, we could hold that, go to Revelation. Revelation speaks about the same thing. Revelation 14. Here are they that keep the commandments and the testimony of Yahweh. Revelation 14 and 12.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahweh.
See, the same thing he was talking about over here in Ezra. Okay. Go to Revelation 13 too. Revelation 13. Revelation 13 and 10.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
See, this is what we're waiting for. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay? Your faith and your patience. Waiting for that day. Okay? Go back to second Ezra. Yes. 12 and 17. Yeah. Revelation 12, 17.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
And that's what they're going to do. They're going to make war against us. Okay? Before this all said and done, they're going to make war against us. Okay? Go ahead.
Which keep the commandments of the Most High
Which keep the commandments of the Most High. Go ahead.
and have the testimony of Yahushua Mashiach.
And what is a testimony? His word. His truth.
That's right.
It's testimony. That keep this thing to the end. This is the only way you're going to get out of this here.
That's right.
By keeping this testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach.
Ah.
If you say, well, I'm a trust in the government, that the United States of America is our country, our constitution, you can forget it. You're in trouble. Okay, go ahead. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter.
Verse 24.
24. Huh? The old and new. It works hand in hand.
That's right.
You have to have the law and the faith.
That's right.
Okay? Law and faith. That's the balance. It said Moses brought the law and Yahushua brought what? Grace. So it's a balance. Okay? Go ahead.
This is a second Ezra chapter 13, verse 24. Knowing this, therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead.
So you see that? So if you left, you're more blessed because you're going to see what the Most I was talking about. You're going to witness. You're going to have a front row seat. And you're going to be commentating. Like, you know, used to like to commentate and everything. Well, this guy from Fox News, the general, talking about Russia have no choice. Russia not going to invade Ukraine. If Russia do, shut up. We're going to commentate and you're done for now. We're going to commentate what the Most High is going to do to you now. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 25. This is the meaning of the vision, whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea.
So now the angels are going to expound to Ezra now the meaning of that vision. Go ahead.
Verse 26. The same is him whom the Most High, the same is he whom the Most High, the highest, have kept a great season.
Have kept for a great season. Okay, go ahead.
Which by his own self shall deliver his creatures.
So he's coming to deliver us. We're the creature. Yahushua is coming to deliver us. Go ahead.
And he shall order them that are left behind.
And he's going to order them that are left behind. Go ahead.
Verse 27. Whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came as a blast of wind and fire and storm. Verse 28. And that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that he rushing in of his destroying the whole multitude that came to subdue him.
See, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is interpretation. Go ahead.
Verse 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth.
See, and that's the time we're living in. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth.
Yeah, it's going to come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. A lot of people saying there's no God. Well, show me your God, that God is coming from the sky. Even some Old Testament made mockery of it. Ain't no God coming from the sky to deliver us. A lot of people made mockery of that. Ain't no JC coming from the sky. Ain't no God from the pie God coming to deliver you. But they're going to see the Most High is going to come to the astonishment of those that dwell on the earth in these last days. It's going to be astonishment. He's going to be shocked. Go ahead. Read that verse again.
Verse 30 from the top. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. Verse 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another.
And that's going to happen. Go ahead.
One city against another. One place against another. one people against another, and one realm against another.
Ain't that happening now over there in Ukraine? And it's going to come here locally too. Okay? When the people see that the government is full of SHIT, they're going to pick up their arms. Especially them Texans. Especially Texas. They want to be a separate state for themselves too. And you know the majority of Republicans are on there too. A lot of these Republicans, when they see that this government failed them, they're going to say, see you, baby. We're on our own. They're going to grab their AR. Okay? And it's going to come down to that. A bloody revolution.
That's right.
When every empire starts to crumble, there's always internal problems. Okay? And it's coming. Go ahead.
Verse 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared.
See? Then shall my son be declared, which is Yahushua, Hamashiach. Go ahead.
Whom thou sawest as a man ascending.
Whom you saw as a man ascending from the clouds from those chariots. Go ahead.
Verse 33. And when all the people heard his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have won against another.
You hear that? When the people hear his voice, because they're going to be fighting amongst themselves. When they hear his voice, they're going to stop like, wait a minute. We have a bigger problem. And they're going to focus their attention to fight against Yahushua and the angels. This is going to be Yahushua. He's going to love this. Yahushua is going to enjoy this with the angels. I could see Michael now leading that army. Okay? Yeah.
I just want to say pertaining to that, for say, for instance, you know, they're going to be in the battle with it, like when you in the fight, right? And you keep missing, they're going to be able to contest one. See, people always hit his target. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, they're not going to win.
They're gonna never know that.
They don't have not one choice to win this battle. They stand a losing chance. But they're going to fight still because of pride. When you're going to lose your kingdom, you're going to fight. Okay? You ain't got no other choice.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 34. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting.
Right, they're going to fight. All right? Hold on, go to Revelation, the 19th chapter. Revelation 19. Start from 11. Revelation 19:11.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse.
And that white horse represents the chariots which Yahushua is coming in. All right, go ahead.
And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Verse 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood.
See, his garment is going to be dipped in blood, soaking in blood. Okay, go ahead.
And his name is called the Word of the Most High.
His name is called the Word of the Most High. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 14. And the armies which were in heaven follow him upon white horses.
Check that out. And the armies that were in heaven with him followed him. The angels. Okay, go ahead.
Clothed in fine linen, white and clean.
Check that out. The angels coming in white linen, white clean garment. But it's going to be stained in blood when he's finished. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword,
Like it said over here in Ezra. Out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. Go ahead.
that with it he shall smite the nations.
He's going to smite the nations. Go ahead.
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty power. Verse 16. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lords of Lords.
All right. All right. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourself together unto the sup of the great power.
See, unto the supper of the great power. That supper is a lot of dead people.
That's right.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 18. That ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. Verse 19. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth, and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse, and against his army.
And I saw the beast. Who's that beast?
Esau.
Yeah, but which one of Esau? Which one? Which beast is that? Oh.
NATO.
Yep. NATO along with the Antichrist. All right. America is frightened. America is done in the 18th chapter.
That's right.
America is toasted. All right. So that beast, they're gonna fight against Yahushua and the angels. That's what we're saying in second Ezra. All right. Finish reading that.
Verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had the mark, have received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. Verse 21. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse.
So Yahushua is gonna kill some people. Okay? He's gonna kill some people with his sword too. All right, read it again.
Verse 21. And the remnants were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, with the which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
Right, so all the fowls is gonna come to eat all those dead bodies. What kind of fowls are those? Vultures. Okay, vultures. Right? Yes.
Let me hit this real quick. Luke 19:27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring them hither, and slay them before me.
Right? All right, so it's going to be a hell of a day. So let's go back to second Ezra and we get ready to close up. And it's going to be a part 2. All right? Go ahead. So we left off in
25.
second Ezra 13 and 35. No, we didn't get that far.
No, we ain't getting that far.
No.
We at 25, 26.
Read 32 again. 32.
32. This is the second book of Ezra, chapter 13, verse 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man descending. Verse 33. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. Verse 34. And innumerable multitudes shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. Verse 35. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion.
Right, so Yahushua is going to stand upon the top of Mount Zion. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 36. And Zion shall come and shall be shown to all men, being prepared and built, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. Verse 37. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked invention of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into tempest. Verse 38. And he shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto fire.
That's it. So fire. That's all the Most High is going to destroy them with fire. All right? Yes. Right. The 12th verse. For Ezra. Read again.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 12. And afterwards saw I the same man come down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceable multitude.
Right. And who's that peaceable multitude?
Israelites.
Right. Israel. All right. Yeah, that's Israel. He's going to gather us. Okay. So with that, I'm going to continue this next week, but most are willing. I'm going to continue and go into our share about Egypt. So remember, how long did the 18th dynasty of Egypt lasted for?
250 years.
255. 255. The 18th dynasty of Egypt lasted for 255 years. Okay? And that was the dynasty that we were enslaved in Egypt. Okay? And America is approaching what? 250 years of its rulership. All right? So everything is symbolic. Everything is analogies and comparison. Okay? So remember that. What happened in Egypt, in physical Egypt, happens over here. Right? So with that, I'll end the class and I'll say Shalom.
Shalom.